This is the Rebel Call channel. Welcome to today's show. Guess who's back? Back again. Eminem is back. Back with what you ask, back with more satanic filth, filled with all the things that we see occurring in the world today that nobody out there would even realize is happening in front of their own eyes. And I'm going to show you all of the symbolism, including, of course, Cern and the Montauk Project and the repetitive theme that we see throughout a lot of these movies and a lot of these TV shows and a lot of these music videos that are coming out week after week after week, all involving Cern, time travel, dimensions opening, portals opening. This is happening around us right now. So Eminem has rolled out to show you the truth in plain sight. And it shouldn't be a coincidence either that the song is named Houdini. For those of you that don't know, Houdini, of course, is a well-known magician. You've probably heard people say, pull a Houdini, right? Meaning to disappear. But I bet what most people don't know about Houdini, in addition to being a magician, was that he practiced black magic. And I bet you didn't know that Eminem and all of these people in Hollywood do as well. Did you know that Harry Houdini is known as the Masonic magician by the Scottish Rite? That's because Houdini, like all of these famous people that we know, famous people from Houdini to Eminem, all of them are involved in Freemasonry. Freemasonry, who openly refer to themselves as practicing the craft, won't admit out in the open that they actually practice witchcraft, that these people are involved in black magic. They just say, hey, the craft, you know, we lay bricks down, huh? Wink, wink. And everybody out there just falls in line and believes what they say. They believe them at face value. Houdini is a famous Freemason. Eminem is only famous because he's a Freemason. All of these people are, and they're normalizing magic and occult practices right before our eyes. So it's not a surprise that Eminem has a song called Houdini. Eminem, again, we've seen him a million times doing all the occult symbols out in the open, the all-seeing eye symbolism, always doing it right in front of our faces. All of them on magazine covers. You've seen all of the collages of these people doing the same exact signs and symbols. Nobody pays attention to them. But when they see them in order and they see a repetition and a pattern, it helps them break free from the mind control, which is why I continue to try to do this and try to help. But that's really what gets you censored, is pointing this stuff out very simply, very clearly, by showing you them revealing themselves right in front of you, right? What do you think? They're all playing peekaboo? They all just have a bug in their eye, an eye booger. They're all just putting a hand up over their eye for no reason. No, of course. The eye on the back of the dollar bill as well. Is that a coincidence? This is the all-seeing eye of Lucifer. This is their God, the God that they worship. This is what they learn in the secret societies that they're all involved in. So we see Eminem always doing the all-seeing eye symbols. We've seen Eminem doing demon possession many times, right? We've seen Eminem with the black eyes, the black smoke, the black goo, right? We've also seen Eminem holding the devil horns up over his forehead, which, again, he does in this video as well. We've seen Eminem even take the satanic baptism, the blood bath, which nobody blinks at. They think it's just some guy who's a rapper. He's a bad guy. You know, he's a tough guy. I mean, these stigmas with these people couldn't be further from the truth. They're weak. They're not strong people. There's the people who sold their souls. A lot of them are victims of MK Ultra mind control programming. Eminem taking a blood baptism. One of the most known pictures of Eminem. A lot of people have seen it before, but nobody thinks anything of it. Again, a lot of them do this in the bathtub with blood, because in Satanism, when you are baptized, much like Christians are baptized with water in rituals, Satanists are baptized in blood. Sometimes human blood, sometimes pig's blood. It depends, I guess, on what mood they're in. So Eminem in this video, again, I talk about the cloning with Eminem. Most people believe if you talk about cloning, which is real, which I've covered many times. I've shown you even Bill Clinton talking about cloning and how they can clone, but they promise you that they're not really cloning people. They've just done experiments on cloning animals, and you know, there's morals involved in all this stuff. These people who show you they have no morals, who can't be trusted. They tell us they have the technology, yet people think it's crazy. But we see a lot of these celebrities that get outed in the open, like Eminem, where they don't even look like the same person they once were. So some people go, well, that's just them aging. They refuse to believe that cloning is real because they've been programmed to believe that a lot of these things aren't real. They've been told that these things are conspiracy theories. If they only knew the technology the government has, which I'll get into in more detail in a minute. So Eminem is posing in the video. I'm not saying this again is his direct clone, because I know green screen. I understand how it works. But they are poking fun at the notion of cloning. So the theme of the video is that the old Eminem, who doesn't look like the old Eminem because it's not the old Eminem, comes through a portal from 2002. So they show on his phone a portal from 2002 is opened up in the city, and Eminem has come through, right? So Eminem walks through this giant circle and enters the city. You might say, wow, okay, wait, am I seeing a lot of that? Because you're not realizing you're seeing a lot of that, but you are. You are seeing a lot of that. Why are you seeing a lot of that? Because that's what's happening right now over at Cern. That's what's happening with the Large Hadron Collider at Cern. When they tell you that they're trying to open up a black hole, they are literally trying to lift the veil. They are trying to bring over what's on the other side. So while it becomes normalized for us to believe in ghosts, while we see all these shows about ghost hunters catching ghosts, the common person out there believes that ghosts exist. They believe, oh yeah, I do believe in the supernatural. But they refuse to believe that demons exist. And this is all deliberately being done, of course, because they're going to normalize bringing demonic forces and demonic entities over into artificial intelligence, etc., and have you accept that. But if people actually realize this is a spiritual war and what's going on is all spiritual and written in the Bible, then they would wake up and most people would turn to God, as they should, because everything in the Bible is a manuscript for us to follow, a blueprint for how this plays out. And we're seeing it play out right now. So Eminem coming through the portal, what they're doing at CERN, how many times have we seen this pattern over the last decade or so, right? Nobody realizes they're seeing it. All the theme of these Marvel movies now is about the multiverse, right? They show you a portal opening. They have Spider-Man. They do it with Batman, right? In Batman, they brought back Michael Keaton. Oh, the 80s Batman's back in today's society. Oh, they're different dimensions happening at once, right? This is even programmed into us in the school system about two things happening in the same space with matter, right? So we see Spider-Man. We've seen Doctor Strange, right? The multiverse. We've seen it specifically with Stranger Things in the Upside Down, right? Going through the Upside Down. We just saw it with Beetlejuice. Beetlejuice shows us in the trailer that the theme is for the living. Can the living coexist living with the dead? Can they live in the same realm together? Right? Remember, physical realm, spiritual realm. Calling the spiritual realm the digital realm. Think about that. So in that trailer, Beetlejuice opens up a portal, a dimension, so that the two can coexist in one space, which is what they're trying to do. Three Body Problem is another show that's out there that features CERN. I just covered this TV show within the last week called Evil, okay, which has a lot of stuff in it that they show you, kind of like Black Mirror. They show you a lot of stuff that's going on. Inside of that show, they show you the Large Hadron Collider, the black hole, bringing over what's on the other side, right? Just recently, they put the portal up in New York City. Right now, the portal wasn't a legitimate portal, but it was to normalize this. Okay, they put a portal up with a camera. People in other countries are able to see each other. I think it was Dublin and New York City, right? And then they took it down because they said people were showing their private parts or whatever was going on, they claimed. They were normalizing this, right? What do you think? They put this big portal up in New York City because they knew Eminem was going to have a song up. And the video, he was going to come out of a portal and time hop and time travel. And that's another thing that's important to note with CERN and lifting of the veil is when we look at these things, we look at these themes of movies like Stranger Things, is the Montauk Project, right? The Montauk Project, which I mentioned, is what Stranger Things is based off of, Camp Hero. They even mention it in the television show or the Netflix series. Okay, this stuff all ties back to CERN. So they're not showing you this for no reason. Eminem didn't go, hey, I saw the portal in New York. I'd like to do that in my video, right? And some people say, well, you know, maybe he's a big Marvel fan. Well, where did Marvel get it from, right? All this stuff centers back to CERN and the Large Hadron Collider. These are operations that the CIA and our government openly admit to doing. The Montauk Project's a real thing, okay? Camp Hero's a real thing. It's not, you know, Stranger Things tell you when the directors come out and they say, well, it's based off of Camp David or Camp Hero. They're not saying that because it's make-believe. They're telling you it's legitimately based off of quote-unquote military operations that our government has done and is doing. Just what they do is most of the time they tell you that these things are disbanded. They tell you MK Ultra's real, but it's not happening anymore. No, it's not. It's actually happening to every single individual who turns on a television set now is under a form of mind control and hypnosis from MK Ultra, because that's what the news is. That's what all these TV shows are. So they never shut down MK Ultra. They might have shut down the location, just like they claim they shut down Plum Island. They moved it to a new place. They never shut Plum Island down, which of course is experimenting with their food and putting diseases in mosquitoes and ticks and then unleashing it on the public. Just like they never shut down any of these things that they claim they shut down in regards to cloning, okay? They've admitted to all this stuff. It's just the regular civilian refuses to believe that it's actually going on because they're not informed. If they told you every night on the news that this was what was going on, then you would believe it. And that's mind control. But they show you all this stuff through these music videos and these movies and television series. They show it to you. They reveal it. In a sense, it's universal law, which is that everything is revealed to us. They just reveal it like the conniving weasels that they are, just like their father, the devil, a liar from the beginning. They reveal it through things that we're supposed to look at as fiction. So, back to the video. As Eminem comes through the time portal or time travels, we see what? Well, we see a demonic baby, right? With devil horns. And even in the lyrics of the song, as Shady says, look who's back. He says, little baby devil with the forked tongue. And it's sticking out like a sore thumb with a forehead that it grew horns from, still a white jerk. So they always show you the devil, always. There's nothing edgy about it at all. They just continually show it because they show you who they worship, who they follow, who their God is, who is Lucifer. So you see him doing that. You even see him showing the baby, then showing devil horns over his forehead. But most of his fans would just see this and they'd say, well, he did that. He's known for doing the pose with the devil horns over his forehead, right? He's known for doing it. So he's just playing off of that instead of saying, well, what is he playing off of? Why is he always doing that? What is the meaning of it? No, they can't think that far. They're just like, oh, that's Eminem being Eminem, because that's how mind control sheeple operate. So as it goes on, we see Eminem, using lightning, a lot of lightning. Lightning's a common theme that we see. All of these musicians mainly the musicians use lightning all the time, from Marilyn Manson to AC/DC Kiss. Okay, that's because they're referencing Luke chapter 10, verse 18. I saw Satan fall like lightning from heaven. That's why they always show you lightning. They're not, spending their spare time chasing down thunderstorms. They might be big Jim Cantor fans and have the Weather Channel on at their home. I doubt it. They're not on their front porch obsessing over lightning because they like how it looks. They're referencing Lucifer. And again, Luke chapter 10, verse 18. I saw Satan fall like lightning from heaven. That's what they're showing you. So as all this lightning is surrounding him, it's incredible because right behind him happens to be this huge 5G tower. And they go right up the 5G tower. And of course, the 5G tower looks a lot like that tower I covered in the TV show Lucifer. If you remember in the TV show Lucifer, I'm sure some of you don't, because some of you are actually new here. It was a while ago. But in the show Lucifer, where they made Lucifer the good guy, instead of the bad guy, that's just the state of our world. The throne that Lucifer had in the show was actually a 5G tower. Okay? 5G plays a pivotal role, as does 6G, with getting the technology into your skin in what is coming. So he goes up the 5G tower, and then you see a beam, right? A beam goes right into the sky. What does that beam remind you of? Well, it reminds me, you see it, just look at it from this standpoint, right? It looks like an antenna shooting a ray into the sky, right? Well, we see that at HAARP, don't we? Shooting those rays into the ionosphere, right? And what's even more telling is as that beam in the sky goes up, what do we see up there? Well, we see a satellite, just missing the balloon that it's hanging on. We see a satellite up there. What's the satellite doing? Well, it's using a direct energy weapon on the United States of America. What else would it be doing? What else would it be doing? That's pretty much what they're there for, isn't it? Oh, right, it's there for space, wink, wink. Got these 5G towers that have the ability to do the same thing that HAARP is doing, right? They show you that with the 5G tower, with the rays shooting into the ionosphere. And then they show you a direct energy weapon beaming directly down and frying. You see America burning. It's not, the tower isn't going directly to the satellite. Look around the United States. Look at it burning, right? What you're seeing in today's world play out. Chile. We see it in Canada almost every week. We just saw it in Texas. We most notably just saw it in Maui, in Lahaina. Direct energy weapon attacks, right? So this is what they're doing to us right now. The government has you distracted with nonsense, with make-believe. They literally have people arguing over if men can have kids, if a man can get pregnant. While they're using this type of technology, these types of weapons that they have admitted to having, they want you to think that they're using direct energy weapons to protect us from another country, right? While they tell you that the border's open. While all these places are catching fire and they're telling you it's the climate. It's incredible. They literally, Eminem shows you America on fire. And that's what the blueprint is. That's part of the plan. So Eminem is back, coming back from his time portal. He's not like he's been anywhere. I've covered him plenty of times. He just had the video where he's demonically possessed within the last couple of years. We've obviously seen him play his role out in public of being anti-Trump. And that's how they get them. They have to influence the young children, young teens out there to be Democrats. So they use the celebrities because they're going to be the foot soldiers in this communist world order. They don't have a clue what communism even is. They don't have a clue about any of it. They don't have a clue what's going on. Let's be real. But I'm trying to help them see what's going on. Okay? The things that you think are fictional are real. The things on the news are completely scripted. This common theme that you're seeing right now, and I talked about it in the Beetlejuice video, common theme is Cern. The common theme is portals, right? So Cern's out in the open and telling you that they're trying to, with the Hadron Collider, they're trying to smash particles together, things that they know the common people will just roll their eyes and go, I don't know what that means. It's science. I don't understand, right? And like, we're going to create a black hole. And people are like, sounds like fun, huh? What? Anyone paying attention? No, right? So then at the same time, all these shows, all these music videos are literally telling you what's happening. They're telling you about CERN. They're telling you about the Montauk Project, right? Camp Hero, the experiments that have been done with time travel, with dimensions, with portals. They show you all these movies with Spider-Man, Doctor Strange, Batman going in and out of these, portals, so to speak. Stranger Things going into the upside down. The theme of Beetlejuice, coexisting, the living among the dead. While all this technology comes out and they tell you about the physical realm and the digital realm. And everyone's been trained now. Everyone's saying, in the digital space, in the digital world, they're talking about the spiritual realm. Okay? When you put those goggles on, like Eminem even shows you at the end in the video, he shows somebody, virtually being a pervert with these absolutely embarrassing Apple Vision Pro goggles on, right? And everyone's heard about the meta, and everybody right now laughs about it. They're like, I'm never going to do that. I'm never going to go there. Oh, yeah, till they make things bad enough on the surface here. And, like everything else I've said, Facebook, when it first came out, everybody's like, that's embarrassing. It's pathetic, right? I was one of them, still am, never got on there, okay? I could tell you about 100 people that I knew who said the same thing for years and years and years, and I could look back now, 20 years later, and they're all on there posting their meals, taking pictures of themselves, completely formulated, manufactured behavior, right? They'll do the same thing with the metaverse, with the digital realm, and it's really hidden. What's hidden from people is it's the spiritual realm, and that's what the technology is being used for. So Eminem showing you this stuff in plain sight, of course. 99.9% of people aren't able to grasp this stuff, right? From Houdini, the song called Houdini, another Mason. This is what the Freemasons in your town practice, okay, folks? They are literally warlocks and witches, if you want to word it that way. Practicing black magic, calling it the craft out in the open, making you think that they're putting bricks together, they're brick masons. They're not. They're witches and warlocks, and they tell you this stuff. They reveal themselves. All these famous people are all members of the same secret societies. They're only famous because they're members of it, and they're the ones who are manipulating us, manipulating our behavior, creating a false perception of reality through the news, making us believe that the news is real when it's not, and then that forms your opinion of what's happening in the world, and it's fake. It's manufactured. They reveal this stuff of what's really going on in the music videos and the television series. And if you're new to this, I recommend you subscribe now. If you stumble upon the channel, you'll learn something. Most of you know most of my videos, if not all my videos, are archived over on my website. Of course, those are videos they don't want you to see, right? I talk about stuff like this and people roll their eyes like, who cares, right? Well, why is it that a YouTuber sounded a lot like me can't be found anymore, or can he? Why is it that millions, channels with hundreds of thousands of views, millions combined, over 80 of them, okay, billions of views have all been terminated, right? Why do you think that is? Because it's easy to see if you look. It's easy to see when you see patterns. They know what breaks the mind control. You could sit here and you could talk about all sorts of stuff that would get censored, okay? Then you could look at the basic things and understand that it's a basic knowledge of signs and symbols that can wake the masses up. Because when you see all these people doing all-seeing eye symbolism, when you see all these mentions of portals and dimensions, you start going, why is that? Like, I thought that in Hollywood or the music, I thought all this stuff was supposed to be art, but they're all showing us the same stuff over and over and over again. Oh, well, because you don't really understand what's actually occurring. They have your mind caught in a hive, and everything that they're telling you is just to distract you and divide you while they're getting away with wicked plans out in the open that if people knew they were doing this and knew what the really AI was, civilians would stop it from moving forward and arrest these people for what they're doing. But they're not, because they're distracted by it all. So subscribe if you're new to the channel. I hope everybody out there is doing well. God bless all of you as always and your families.